What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. With this video, we are jumping into some awesomeness. Having the legendary writer Chris Claremont. He is returning to spearhead Gambit issue number 1. I know a lot of people, they've been a little bit burnt out with the new era of X-Men. Lucky for all of you guys, this is jumping us back to the 90s. Taking us to the era of Uncanny X-Men. This is taking us back to the early days of Gambit, where this issue number 1 is going to be dropping us in. Recently having encountered NANNY, we had Storm, who is now de-aged back down to Kid Storm, back in her childhood state. Gambit recently saving her from Shadow King. You could consider this the lost adventures of Gambit and Storm. Because right now, the world is their oyster. We all know Gambit for the hero thief that he is. And Storm, in her earliest of days in Cairo, she was also a thief. So make sure that you guys have subscribed to the channel, you have liked this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we jump into the Uncanny X-Men era, we are picking up with the adventure of Aurora and Remy. The current city that they find themselves in is Cairo, Illinois. Remy having a brand new partner to work side by side with. That is Kid Storm. And we see them out on these streets making their hustle, with Kid Storm skateboarding by this guy, Remy also bumping into him. This is all classic pickpocket technique, but what this guy seems to find out is that nothing was actually stolen from him. He believed that he was pickpocketed, but as he goes to look into his wallet, look into his pockets, he finds everything is in place. A little bit later, we have Gambit and Storm meeting up in an alleyway. This is Gambit teaching Kid Storm everything that he knows about stealing, about being a thief. But he is also testing out her true abilities, seeing what she just might be capable of, because he made Kid Storm return all of that stuff back into his pocket. Gambit wanted to see if she could really pull this off, if she has the skills to roll around with him. And while Kid Storm, she's not very happy about this whole situation, she still is going to continue on and learn from Gambit. Their next job, it is breaking into that guy's safe. Gambit sitting outside letting her know that she needs to find a way into this building to get past all of the alarms and break in without being detected. And this is all so she can open the door for Gambit. Very reluctantly, she makes her way to the top of this building, getting into the chimney, getting inside, trying to open up everything. She uses her powers a little bit of lightning. Remember, up to this point, ever since she was de-aged, her powers and her ability to control her powers, her memories, all of these things are more or less taken away from her. And so this is a Storm that has to relearn everything. But when Storm breaks into this place, this is where she is met by Gambit, because Gambit had already swiped and copied this man's card the other day, the one that would allow entry into the building. Obviously, Kid Storm is furious, but this is just yet another test from Remy. As she throws a little bit of a tantrum, she starts to make it Storm above Gambit, letting her know that if she continues on with this, they can just end this mentorship right here, right now. Getting the money they came for, maybe soaking wet money, but they have their score, heading off to St. Louis. The two of them sit down and they have a conversation about Shadow King. Kid Storm, she wants her payback. The face that Shadow King is currently wearing is an FBI agent known as Jacob Reese, wanting her revenge because Shadow King really made her feel helpless, made her feel like she can't protect herself. She is attempting to prove to him and herself that she is not scared of Shadow King. But Gambit does remind her, the last time the two of them were together, Shadow King had her number. And so what would be different about this time? Letting her know that sometimes the only play is to run away. You have to know when you are outmatched. But she does vow that she is going to make him suffer. With our Kid Storm taken off, Gambit sits behind and he watches as this quote-unquote FBI agent, Shadow King, has a conversation with Moira. a story arc that plays out in Uncanny X-Men 278 moving forward. Really, the Shadow King, at least in this issue, he's just getting into her psyche, trying to change some things around. That's when our story, it takes us to an alleyway. We had a cop who was chasing down some kids that seemed to have stolen something, when our kid Storm goes to intervene, thinking that she is helping these kids. This is when a whole bunch of young females show up around her, having Jazz and a few other individuals. These are the cadets of Buckeye. With our kid Storm sitting here getting jumped by them, we have Gambit show up on scene, but also Sabian. As they break up this little brawl, Sabian lets Kid Storm know that Jazz is challenging her to a fight. But because she is not a cadet, she has no obligation to honor this duel. Of course, Kid Storm, she's not backing down. As the two of them begin to brawl, Gambit and Sabian have a conversation about Shadow King, saying that her and the cadets, that is why she is here to begin with. She has come to rescue these cadets, or at least get them out of harm's way, because anywhere Shadow King is, there is going to be trouble. Telling Gambit that he needs to actually ditch town as well, that if Kid Storm won't go with him, he needs to leave her behind because it is a lost cause. Even going as far as saying that she would kill Kid Storm as a mercy, really letting Gambit understand the depth of what they are getting themselves into. But there's a mystery to solve, and Gambit is not one to back down from a mystery. As Kid Storm cleans up Jazz, this fight comes to an end. They head off back to the pier, back where Shadow King once was, unwilling to run away, believing that if she does, it means that the Shadow King has won. What she really wants to do is to show with all that power, he is not a god, that he is vulnerable in ways that he could never truly imagine. When she had been fighting Jazz, this is when she learned something about herself, that she is no monster man. She hardly even has her powers right now, she's just a kid. And so while she may not be able to hurt the Shadow King's body, what she can do is hurt his pride. Take him by surprise, make him look ridiculous in front of everybody in public. That Kid Storm, some harmless little girl, some helpless little individual, made him look like a joke. She knows that this will drive him crazy. While the Shadow King is preoccupied with Moira, Kid Storm is able to get close enough and throws a pie directly into his face. And the Shadow King absolutely loses it, reaching out and attacking everybody's mind that is nearby. But when he reaches out, he is unable to find Kid Storm, and he does give her praise, talking out and hoping that she might be able to hear, but she has got his attention, and right now he is in no hurry to make her pay. Eventually, she is going to feel the wrath of Shadow King, but first he is going to go and claim the lives and souls of the fellow X-Men. All of her friends will be hunted down. They will suffer at his hands. And in turn, she will suffer at their hands, saying that they would happily turn her over, at least after he has gotten to them and been done with them. And so taking us to a little bit later, we have Kid Storm, who is in a fantastic mood. She was setting out to do exactly what she wanted to. She knows that Shadow King, he's going to show up again. It's going to be inevitable. But for at least today, she has won this pieing. She has won this tiny battle, this little victory, with Gambit letting her know that it is time to go and do something new. We are taken far from Earth, taking place during pretty much the same time. This is where we get Bounty. As she brings in her latest grab, she is getting her next job. That is Lila Cheney, the best singer in known space, and even a better thief. She is able to teleport between galaxies. This makes her almost impossible to catch. The video clip that they have of her though, in the background, this is where we see Gambit. And so Bounty, she is gonna go grab Gambit and use him as bait to lure in the biggest catch that she will ever get. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You know, I really enjoy the way that this played out. It's nice seeing Gambit back in the early 90 days, getting some Uncanny X-Men into our lives with everything going on with Krakoa. I was a little bit hoping that we were going to see something happen with Gambit, since in the current lines of Knights of X, we have seen Gambit more or less die. And this is happening while in Otherworld, which means there is a chance that he might not be able to be resurrected, though they haven't fully explained if dying in Otherworld also means that you cannot be put into the heaven this Scarlet Witch had created. But it's nice being able to see the adventures of Kid Storm and Remy, to see how their friendship had truly been forged, to see all of the fun, crazy things that the two of them, all of the things that they have gotten into, all the trouble that they have found. You know, and this issue is kind of innocent. You know, she wanted to get some kind of revenge against Shadow King, instead of going and trying to attack him, not trying to use her powers or do anything of that nature. She goes with something very simple, very elegant, and that is a pie to the face. Just letting him know that with all your power, all of your strength, you are not as awesome as you believe yourself to be. I believe that this is going to be a 5-issue miniseries, but so far it is off to an absolutely amazing start, and I cannot wait to see what the two of them get into next. Now, if you're trying to get caught up on everything that has been going on with the X-Men in their current Krakoan era, be sure to check out all of the links down in the description as well as the top of this video. We pretty much cover every single one of the X-Men titles currently ongoing. If you would like to support this channel, you can always do so by hitting the Super Thanks button. This button will let you donate directly to the channel, and every little bit helps us out. Now, if you can't do that, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and until the next breakdown.